What's up, loves? It's your girl, London, and I know it's been a while, but I am back with another transformation. So you just sit back, stay tuned, and enjoy. Let's get started. All right, guys, so right now I am sectioning the hair to base for the relaxer, and I'm just going to do just the lower half. She wants to wear some of her hair out, and I realized that for women that suffer from hair loss, it's always a great thing when they can still wear some of their hair exposed. So I'm just going to trim off this extra hair that we're not going to be needing. You definitely want to do that to save on product and also on time. You don't want to relax any hair that's not going to be in use. So I'm going to trim that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the relaxer. The other thing that I noticed too, which is definitely convenient for women that suffer with hair loss, is that you want to do something that looks very, very natural, true to how they would normally wear their hair. Oftentimes we sometimes are so caught up in trying to mask what is going on that we take people away from what they would normally wear. Like if this client would not usually wear a bob, then a bob would not be the suggestion that I would offer for style. So you want to ask them, when you had a full head of hair, how were you wearing your hair? Was it long? Was it short? Things of that sort. And then you want to, try your best to achieve what the natural desire is. Now, this also gives opportunity for them to do something maybe that they never could have done. Sometimes I have clients whose hair has always been thin, and so there's a lot of styles that they could not achieve even when they had a full head of hair. So you definitely want to have that discussion as well, and you'll do all of this in the consultation with your client. Now, it's very important and helpful to use a comb to comb out the kinks in the back of the hair so that it does relax very, very straight, but also being certain not to scrape the scalp as you go. So now I've already got her washed out, neutralized and conditioned, and I am just going to mold this hair down and out of the way. Now, I did not do it with her, but ordinarily if the hair is a lot thicker or fuller and really dense, sometimes you do have to go ahead and mold them and put them under the dryer and let it dry before you get to the next process. But I actually was able to just allow this to lay while I did her braid down. So again, if the hair is not going to dry in say 15-20 minutes, then you do want to give them some dryer time. But if it is going to dry, within that time frame, then you don't have to sit them under the dryer. Now, this is the braid pattern that I created, and this is just to give more foundation and base for when I apply the sewing cap. I'm just cleaning up the hairline so that I can just envision the way I want the style to lay when I start to sew. And it just works together for me in this way. I will go back later and clean it up, but you could skip this process and get right to the sewing if you desire. Okay, guys, so this cap, don't you panic if you don't have this cap or you have never used this cap before. I usually don't use this cap for this particular process, but it's really about the technique. So you can use almost any cap if you know what you're trying to do, and you can customize the cap to get it to do what it is that needs to be done. So if this is not a cap that you've been using, you don't have to transition into this cap. Again, I don't usually use this cap for this type of method, but it was what I had, so it was what I used, and I made it work. So focus more so on the technique, and then you can make anything happen. Okay, now during the sewing process, I usually start off in a U from ear to ear, and I go back and forth. And then when I get to a position that is comfortable enough, or I feel like the placement is going to work, then I start to go in a U. And you want to be mindful with your U because, I start to go in a circle. And you want to be mindful with your circle, because as it circles out, you want it to be positioned on a certain area of the head up top. So you don't want it too far back, you don't want it too forward. So you have to pay attention to your circle and where the end result is going to end in order to achieve the desired look. Once everything is installed, you go ahead with your razors or your shears and you clean up the cut. You can also use thinning shears as well. If you've put too much hair in and you feel like it's a little too bulky and it won't lay flat, then by all means use your thinning shears. But your razors and just a sharp hair shears should be all that you need. You want to make certain that you get those little fish hooks, and that's usually with like the 27-piece hair. It has like that little hook or little curve kind of on the end of the hair. So when you install it, if you leave it, it kind of gives it the 27-piece look. Like it'll make it look wiggy. But if you cut those ends off, even if that's all that you cut, if you're not a great cutter, if you just cut the ends off, that will definitely create and sculpt the look that you're looking for. Now this time when I add the foam, I will be placing her under the dryer until she's dry. I know sometimes it seems like a very tedious process, but I'm telling you, all of it is necessary. So when your clients schedule, just allow them or tell them to expect to be in the salon a couple of hours. But hey, I mean, perfection just doesn't happen in minutes. It really just takes time. So for me, this part is one of the most important areas that you want to pay attention to, and it's right around the ears and the temple. Once that hair is laying flat, you want to make certain that you carve it out with precision. You don't want to just get there and buzz it and cut it and then have it lopsided or, you know, just not you. This is the detail to the masterpiece. This is what ties everything in. So once you got that cut, you got it shaved, you definitely have to pay attention to right around the hairline, especially if your client does not have hair there. This is what's going to make them or break them, those little sideburns. Then afterwards, once you go in and curl, I mean, the hard part is already done. The curling, honestly, you can't even mess up at this point. Even if you curled it wrong, it would still come out right. Trust me. All right, you guys, and this is the finished look. I'm combing it out now. The good thing about this hair is usually you don't have to comb it very often, so this is very low maintenance for your clients, so they love it. I would suggest this for the person who wants to just up and go. If you have any questions or concerns, make certain that you put it in the comment section. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, which will be in the description bar below. And as always, until next time, bye loves.